Hey warrior, let me paint a picture you might recognize. You wake up. The room is quiet, but your mind, loud. Before your feet touch the floor, you're already tired, not from the day ahead, but from the thoughts that never stop circling you. What if I mess this up? Why did I say that yesterday? Am I even doing enough with my life? You haven't moved, but you're already drained. And the worst part? You've gotten so used to it. It feels normal. But deep down, you know, it shouldn't. No one ever taught you this, but let me say it clearly. Your mind is not supposed to be your enemy. It's supposed to be your home, your anchor, your guide. Not a place you fear, not a place that attacks you when life gets quiet. But here's the truth no one told you. You can't fix what you keep avoiding. You can distract yourself with noise, scroll for hours, numb yourself with entertainment or even toxic habits. But eventually, the silence comes. And when it does, your mind shows you everything you've buried. That's not weakness, that's a signal, a cry for leadership. Because your mind is not broken, it's just untrained. And like any powerful tool, it will hurt you until you learn how to use it. That's where the ancient Stoics come in, not with empty philosophy, but with something real. They weren't monks sitting peacefully on a mountain. They were warriors, emperors, slaves, exiles, people who faced real pain, loss, betrayal, chaos. But they didn't let those things define their minds. Why? Because they believed one thing. It's not what happens to you that destroys you, it's how you think about it. Marcus Aurelius, in the middle of war and plague, wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That wasn't a quote for Instagram. That was a survival skill, and that same skill you can build too. You don't need to become cold. You don't need to ignore emotion. But you do need to train your focus. You do need to take back your inner space. Because if you don't, the world will invade it. Let's be real. Your mind is being pulled every single day. Social media comparison, fear of missing out, regrets from your past, anxiety about your future, people telling you what you should be by now. No wonder you feel overwhelmed. No wonder it's hard to breathe sometimes. But here's what I want you to remember. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to take control back. And no, it's not too late. This video isn't about being perfect. It's about being present with your own thoughts, feelings, and choices. We're going to walk through 7 hard but healing truths from Stoicism that will help you stop chasing mental peace and start creating it inside yourself. This isn't motivation, it's mental strategy. So before we begin, do this for yourself. Close other tabs. Silence the outside world. Make this the moment you stop running from your mind and start leading it. And if anything in this hits deep, don't hold it in. Hit like, drop your affirmation in the comments, share it with someone you love. Subscribe if you're ready to build a mind you can finally feel safe in. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind is my home, and I will protect it. Number 1, stop letting your feelings drive the car. If you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Marcus Aurelius. Here's a hard truth. Your feelings are real, but they are not always right. They are signals, not commands. Yet most of us treat emotions like they're the driver of the car, and we're just the passenger. You feel sad, you stop everything. You feel angry, you shout or hurt someone. You feel anxious, you cancel plans or start avoiding life. But here's the problem. When emotions drive the car, they usually crash it. A Stoic mind does not ignore emotions. It feels everything, but doesn't obey every feeling. Let's get honest here. Have you ever said something in anger and then deeply regretted it? Have you made a bad decision just because you were afraid or jealous in that moment? That's what happens when feelings take over without your permission. The first step to controlling your mind is to remind yourself, I feel this emotion, but I don't have to act on it. Here's a tool that works in real life. Whenever a strong feeling shows up, pause and label it. Literally say to yourself, this is anger, this is fear, this is shame. By naming it, you separate yourself from it. You are not the emotion, you are the observer. Then ask, what would my wiser self do here? That pause, that single question, gives your logical brain time to kick in. It prevents emotional reaction from turning into real-world regret. Stoics call this the power of reasoned choice. Not acting blindly, but with awareness. You can feel sad and still go to work. You can feel fear and still speak the truth. You can feel anger and still choose silence. Discipline is not about suppressing feelings, it's about guiding them. Let's make this personal. Next time you're overwhelmed by emotion, try writing it down before acting on it. You'll see, it loses power once it's out of your head and on paper. This is what Marcus Aurelius did. His meditations weren't for publishing. They were a way for him to check himself, to say, this is what I feel, but this is how I choose to act. Imagine how strong you'd be if you did that every day. Not perfect, just more aware. Number 2, slow down your thoughts before they control you. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Seneca. You know what really steals your peace? It's not always big problems. It's the small, racing thoughts that stack up and take over. 1 minute, you're fine. The next minute, your mind is in 5 different places. What if I fail? What did they mean by that message? Why is everyone ahead of me? What if something bad happens tomorrow? And boom, you're lost in thought, stressed, distracted, exhausted, without doing anything. You didn't even leave the room. But your mind? It just ran a marathon. Here's the truth most people avoid. Overthinking is not a sign of deep intelligence. It's a sign of poor control. You can be smart and still be a prisoner to your own mind. The Stoics knew this. That's why they trained their thoughts like soldiers. They believed your thoughts need direction, not freedom to wander endlessly. So how do you slow them down? Start here. Recognize when you're thinking too fast, when your breathing gets shallow, when your heart races for no reason. When you've reread the same sentence 5 times and nothing is sticking, that's your signal. Then do something radical in today's world. Pause. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly. Exhale even slower. Now name one thing that's actually bothering you, not 5 things, just one. Most overthinking is just your brain juggling 10 tabs at once, so you bring it down to 1 tab. You tell your mind, let's deal with this, and only this. You're not ignoring everything else. You're just choosing not to drown. Here's a Stoic practice that can literally change your days. Evening reflection. Every night, ask yourself, what thoughts made me anxious today? Were they even real threats? How could I have responded with more calm? When you reflect instead of just react, you start building a pattern of control. Your mind becomes sharper. It stops panicking because it knows you're paying attention. You'll notice something powerful. When you slow down your thoughts, your energy comes back. You start hearing your own voice again, not just the noise of the world. And in that silence, you can choose what to believe and what to let go. Stoicism is not about having 0 thoughts. It's about not being a slave to every one of them. You can't stop your brain from generating thoughts, but you can stop giving power to the ones that hurt you. Every thought is a visitor. You decide who stays for dinner. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I slow my thoughts. I choose what stays. Number 3, feed your mind, don't poison it. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. You are not just what you eat, you are what you consume mentally. If you keep feeding your mind with gossip, drama, fear, comparison, and trash content, don't be surprised when you feel anxious, empty, and lost. Most people treat their phones like snacks. They scroll aimlessly, watching whatever shows up. But imagine doing that with your food, just eating whatever random thing someone hands you, no matter how toxic or rotten it is. You'd get sick fast, right? Now think. How long have you been feeding your mind garbage without realizing it? The Stoics were intentional about what they allowed into their minds because they knew a weak mind doesn't start weak. It's weakened by constant distraction and mental junk. So here's the challenge. Audit your mental diet. Ask yourself, who am I following online? What kind of conversations do I let into my life? Am I feeding myself wisdom or noise? You know why your mind feels foggy sometimes? Because it's full of content that has no meaning, no truth, no purpose. You don't have to live like that. You can take your mind back, just like you take your body back when you stop eating junk food. Start by doing this. Replace one piece of junk input with a piece of wisdom every day. Read 2 pages from a Stoic journal. Watch 10 minutes of something that teaches stillness or truth. Sit in silence and reflect instead of scrolling. It sounds small, but that's how change begins. And don't just protect your input. Protect your conversations. If someone is always negative, gossipy, or shallow, limit that access. That's not being rude. That's protecting your peace. Even if you're physically strong, even if your body is healthy, a poisoned mind will still drag you down. You must ask yourself every day, is what I'm consuming today helping me become the person I respect? If not, then it's a distraction, and it doesn't deserve your attention. Every time you consume something, ask, does this sharpen me or soften me? Does this feed my fear or fuel my strength? Because whatever you feed grows. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I feed my mind with clarity, not chaos. Number 4, train your mind to observe, not absorb. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Think about this. A person walks past you and frowns. Suddenly, your mind starts writing a story. They're upset with me. I must have done something wrong. Everyone always gets distant, but maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe it had nothing to do with you, but your mind absorbed the moment and twisted it into a personal threat. That's what most people do, without even realizing it. They absorb every small comment, every awkward pause, every bit of silence, and turn it into pain. But a Stoic doesn't absorb. A Stoic observes. They watch what happens, but they don't make it mean more than it is. Here's the truth. Not everything you feel is fact. Not everything you hear is truth. Not everything you see is about you. But your untrained mind will always try to connect the dots, even when the dots don't belong together. It's exhausting, right? To always think someone's angry at you. To always believe people's actions are secret messages. To feel unsafe, even when you're not. This is why your mind needs training. You must learn to observe things as they are, not as your fear paints them. Here's how. Number 1. Slow down your conclusions. Your brain loves quick answers. They didn't text me. They must hate me. But next time ask, what else could this mean? Do I have proof or just a feeling? This one pause breaks 90% of emotional overreactions. 2. Separate fact from feeling. Feeling left out is a feeling, but is it a fact? Did someone actually exclude you, or is your past hurt speaking? The Stoics practiced this as a form of mental honesty. Seneca would reflect each night and ask, "Did I see things clearly today, or did I let my fears blur the truth?" That's not easy, but it's freedom. Because when you stop absorbing every emotion, you stop bleeding from invisible wounds. 3. Be curious, not paranoid. Replace judgment with questions. Instead of, "They're ignoring me," say, "Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're distracted. Maybe it's not about me at all. This isn't weakness. This is mental control." This is what Stoicism looks like in daily life. It's not just about quotes and calmness. It's about choosing not to poison your mind with assumptions, because assumptions become stories, stories become beliefs, and beliefs shape your identity. Don't let a false story live in your head rent-free. Be a calm observer, not an emotional sponge. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I observe the world. I do not absorb the noise. Number 5. Teach your mind to be okay with not knowing. Don't demand that things happen as you wish. Let them happen as they do, and your life will flow well. Epictetus. Let's face it, we hate not knowing what they think of us, not knowing what will happen next, not knowing how a decision will turn out. That fear of uncertainty, it's what fuels anxiety. It's what keeps you stuck in overthinking. It's what makes you try to control things you were never meant to control. But here's the Stoic shift. You don't need to know everything to be at peace. You just need to trust yourself to respond well, no matter what comes. That's real control. Not controlling the storm, but controlling how you sail through it. The modern mind wants answers fast, so it Googles everything, overanalyzes every text, tries to predict the future, and ends up exhausted. But the Stoic mind says, "Let me do what I can. Let me prepare, but let me also accept the part I don't control." That kind of surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. So how do you build that? Number 1. Practice radical presence. Ask yourself, what is true right now? Am I in danger in this moment? Or am I just fearing what might happen? Because fear doesn't live in the now. It lives in the maybe, and you can't build peace in the world of maybe. 2. Let the unknown become your teacher. You can learn from uncertainty. It humbles you. It forces patience. It builds trust, not in the outcome, but in your own growth. When Epictetus lost everything, his home, his freedom, he didn't panic. He said, "You may bind my body, but not my will." Why? Because he trusted that no matter what came next, he could face it with clarity. You can too. Every time you resist the urge to chase certainty, you train your mind to stand in the unknown and stay steady. That is power. 3. Create space for silence. Most of the time, the answers you're chasing won't come from noise. They come in stillness, in patience, in letting time do what it does. Give yourself space to say, "I don't know yet," and that's okay. The right answer will come when I'm ready, or when life decides. This isn't laziness. This is emotional maturity. You don't need to predict everything. You just need to trust yourself through anything. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I let go of needing to know. I trust my strength in the unknown. Number 6. Build daily mental routines, not emotional dependency. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Epictetus. You wake up one day feeling strong, focused, calm, ready. The next day, anxious, irritable, lost again. What changed? The truth is, most people build their entire mindset around how they feel. If they feel motivated, they act. If they feel down, they give up. They live by mood instead of routines. That's a dangerous way to live, because your mood isn't stable. It's like the weather, always shifting. And if your entire life depends on feeling good first, You'll never build long-term control over your mind. The Stoics had a better way. They didn't wait for perfect energy. They created rituals that trained their mindset daily, no matter how they felt. Let me ask you something. Do you have a mental routine, not just a to-do list? I mean something that centers your focus and sharpens your inner clarity before the chaos of the day begins. Because life will always get loud, so if you don't start your day with intention, the world will decide your mood for you. Let's talk practice. Number 1, start with stillness. 5 minutes in the morning. No phone, no music, just sit. Breathe slowly, let your mind settle. This is not meditation in a trendy sense. This is mental alignment. You're saying, before I enter the world, I check in with myself first. 2. Write one guiding sentence. Every Stoic wrote to themselves. It's how they remembered who they were in a chaotic world. Write something like, I will not rush today. My peace is not up for negotiation. I choose clarity over reaction. Simple, strong, intentional. You don't need a perfect journal. You just need consistency. 3. Detach your actions from your emotions. This is key. Whether you feel lazy or tired, still show up. Maybe not at 100%, maybe just 40%, but show up. Because your future doesn't care how you felt today. It cares what you did despite how you felt. Your mind starts to respect you when it sees that you don't fold every time your mood shifts. That respect becomes confidence. That confidence becomes strength. That strength becomes control. You are not your feelings. You are your daily disciplines. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I act with discipline, not emotion. Number 7. Make your inner world stronger than the outer one. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Marcus Aurelius. Here's a truth you may feel deeply. The world is getting louder, faster, more demanding, more opinions, more comparisons, more pressure to perform and prove. And in that chaos, most people forget who they are. They chase validation. They need approval. They fear judgment. They build their entire identity on things outside their control. How many followers, how others see them, how much praise they get. But the Stoics knew better. If your peace depends on the outside world, you will never be in control. The real work is building an inner world so strong that you don't collapse when the outside world tries to shake you. Here's how to start. Number 1. Stop chasing validation. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to agree. In fact, sometimes being misunderstood is the cost of being deeply authentic. Say to yourself, if I'm being honest and I'm being intentional, that's enough. 2. Redefine success. Don't let the world define it for you. Is it peace? Is it self-respect? Is it showing up every day no matter what? Write your definition. Let that guide you. Not trends, not hype, not noise. 3. Practice internal wins. Celebrate when you stay calm under pressure. Celebrate when you hold your boundary. Celebrate when you don't react, even if no one notices. That's power most people will never understand, because they're too busy trying to look strong instead of be strong. The outside world will always fluctuate. But you can be a steady flame. That's the Stoic mission. Not to escape life, but to build a mind that stays centered, no matter what life throws at it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My power comes from within. I do not chase approval. Let's bring this home. If you've made it this far, you're not here for surface-level motivation. You're here for truth. And here's the truth. You won't control your mind perfectly. You will still overthink sometimes, still react, still fall into old patterns. But now you're aware, and awareness is power. Now you know. You are not your feelings. You are your choices. You are not your thoughts. You are your response to them. You don't need to predict life. You just need to meet it with clarity. That's what Stoicism trains you to do. Every pause you take before reacting. Every moment you reflect instead of lash out. Every time you choose discipline over emotion. That's control. That's growth. That's freedom. So no, you don't need to be fearless. You just need to face your mind and lead it like a warrior. Don't chase a perfect mind. Build a strong one, one that stands, one that listens, one that decides with wisdom. You've got this, not because life will get easier, but because you will get stronger. If this video helped you, like it, comment, share, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom that actually helps you change from within. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I lead my mind. I do not follow it.